Welcome to Chilltime with Jose with the new mic, as you guys see here. The first time, the new mic is with the mic mount as well has come onto the show. So say hi to the new mic, guys. Come on, hello, don't be shy. Wave and chat. Say hi to the new mic. And it's going to be our new mic here, where I'm going to readjust it back to where it was. And well, it's been quite an exciting week of CSGO actually, with a lot of movement, especially in Astralis and FaZe, and just a lot of movement overall actually, especially with Fire League. Why did you do this to me? But anyways, guys, let's just get into the action here. So into the action, we got first up, we got Mr. Olaf. He's going down on FaZe. He's standing down. Kind of expected, to be honest. Like, Olaf hasn't been really performing. He hasn't really got back to his great with like he was with Fnatic. And you know, it's a matter of time. Like literally a matter of time that Olaf was essentially going to go over. Like Olaf, you know, he said he played like a bot at some points, and also said a lot of other things negative about himself as well. And it's pretty much, you know, it's over for him. It's over for him. So he's going to leave, and they've already picked up Bemis as well. So they got Bemis. I was thinking of picking up Nuki as well, so they're picking up Lithuanians. But Bemis is also a pretty decent pickup as well for FaZe. And, you know, I think they've got coldzera, Nico, Rain, and Brokey. Brokey's having, you know, quite a good role as well. And Yanko still being the coach. And I gotta applaud Yanko for, you know, still keeping this job. Like, a lot of people said he was accepting this poison chalice and that, you know, he'll be out of FaZe within the year. You know, he's still in FaZe. You know, gotta give it to him. Gotta give it to Yanko there. So next up, we're gonna go to Bemis. Bemis standing in for FaZe. It's likely that he will replace it. Like, I gotta say, Bemis and Nuki, like, I was thinking Nuki would get picked up, because Nuki's been very, very good for, for Hellraisers, and I thought they'd pick him up, given that Nuki wanted to look for a new team, because he wasn't interested in playing for Hellraisers who speak all Russians, but they picked up Bemis. Bemis, he was in, I believe, Demolition Crew for a bit, actually. And, you know, he's Lithuanian as well. I'm very sure he was in, let me just see. I'm pretty sure Bemis was in Demolition Crew for a bit. Let me just see where he was. Was he in Demolition Crew? Yeah, he was in Demolition Crew for a bit, as you see here. So he was in Demolition Crew for a little bit. And, yeah. So, you know, he's been picked up, 16-year-old, another Lithuanian superstar. And, you know, I'm actually a bit surprised that him and Nuki didn't make a team together, given that, you know, they're both Lithuanian, both superstars. And there's been a lot of Lithuanians in the scene who've played extremely well. And you have that, you know, skill, that aim set as well. So basically, FaZe, they're putting up Bemis. So, you know, they picked up Brokey previously, and Brokey's been a good investment. You know, they really scoured the scene and found the right guy for the AWP job. And now they put around Rain, Nico, and coldzera. And they don't have really an IGL built up yet. So hopefully they're going to get an IGL behind it as well. And, well, I'm going to say Olaf is probably going to be moved on from FaZe, in my opinion. Next up, we're not going to talk about that because we already did talk about that. Next up, we're going to talk about Yakinda. So Buster's taking a break from Virtus Pro, and of course, Virtus Pro could literally get anyone on the scene, and why not get Yakinda? Yakinda from Prosto, he's an absolute fucking superstar, okay? So there's no like surprise on my face that Virtus Pro went up to Yakinda to get another entry fragger into the team. Like, people were suspecting Yakinda was going to get picked up a lot earlier to replace a Dren or one of the other players as well. Like, not James, of course, but you know, replace a Dren or Sanji. But Sanji plays support, and a Dren is the IGL, and a Dren has been improving as the IGL, which is massive as well, because, you know, it's just every time for Virtus Pro, I was just hoping that, you know, a Dren would just get that little extra knowledge. G'day, Fox. Mate, what? Hey, mate. G'day, Fox. Hope you're having a good day, man. Dude, you said mate with an 8, saying, like, you know, mate, you're saying something wrong. But Yakinda's going to replace Buster, and, you know, Yakinda, definitely one of the superstars to watch out for, and kind of expected that Yakinda would go to Virtus Pro eventually. Like, it's even Na'Vi or Virtus Pro, you know, Yakinda's going to get his, you know, make his way up. And, you know, Prosto are going to lose a massive young star in Yakinda, and I'm not sure who Prosto are going to replace him with. At the moment, they've got him with, well, no, they haven't replaced him yet, but they're using the coach at the moment to replace him. I forget the coach's, I think it's Pippin, that's the coach's name. And Pipson. I think it was Pipson, actually, their coach. Or was that their coach? No, Dustin's their coach, my bad. Yeah, it is Pipson for Prosto. But Prosto have rescheduled a lot of the games on MDL as well, so they're probably looking for that last player. I reckon Prosto might go for Nuki. Like, if Prosto do speak English, they may go for Nuki. Like, Nuki was looking for a team that wasn't, you know, speaking in Russian, because I guess his Russian's not so good. I'll come back to my stream to you later. See you, Fox. Have a good one. Have a good one, my dude. And, you know, basically, Buster's taking a break, and Yakinda is being approved in here. There's been a lot of rumors that all these things that are occurring with burnout and stuff like that are, like, basically, I think Richard Lewis alluded to with some of the Australis players, that they're doing it because there's contract issues, that they want to cut costs. And Virtus Pro, I'm not sure if they're taking that angle as well. I've got nothing in the behind the scenes, really, because I can only have a very few people that I know behind the scenes who go and search for the information, stuff like that do tell me some information. And yeah, I'll check stream replay. Okay, cool. Never mind. It's all good, Fox. Have a good day. Have a good day, man. And yeah, so, you know, we'll check behind the scenes to see, you know, what's going on there. Maybe it could be a contract issue, maybe not, but, you know, we'll see what occurs there, essentially. But there's, you know, been a lot of rumors about that, where basically, you know, players, you know, being put on break while they're negotiating on contracts and trying to offload them, I guess. So next up, we got this one, which is going to be me eating humble pie, which is Fire League being, well, transferred to Godsend for Makalele. So Makalele will probably be benched, and Makalele will likely finish up. Yeah, definitely will finish up. He's 29 years of age. And, you know, Makalele, he created a team, Godsend. They played without an org for 12 months, kept enough money with Crystal's Deco and all that. And Makalele admitted himself that his performance had been dropping, and it was only a matter of time before, you know, Godsend would look for another AWPer. And given they already have a mix-up, they can basically, you know, get any Danish player or anything like that, get anyone in the scene. And naturally, you know, Fire League was inevitably going to be picked up, you know, with Tezes leaving to Heroic. The Flames trying to make a shout for a team that's, you know, very, very good and, you know, in the tier 2 space. Just pretty much got cut to ribbons. You know, it's just hard for some of these tier 2 orgs who are trying to cultivate a good team, but at the same time, they've got all these tier 1 orgs looking at their teams as well. And I got to agree with Foreign about Tezes, is that the fact that none of the other orgs and Danish orgs even sniffed at Tezes, and Heroic picked them up. And, you know, I got to say that, you know, they really should have. Like, if Australis had that bad team issues with Glaive and Zipnix, why was Tezes not even given a look at? Like, why was Tezes not even looked at in that regard if they had those issues with, was it Glaive and... It was Glaive, Device, and now Zipnix? I think Device hasn't taken any leave yet because he can't. But, you know, with those players going, they really, really, really should have picked up Tezes. And that's, you know, that's why a bit of a shot at Australis, in my opinion, they didn't pick it up. So Fire League, he's been picked up, and as well, Fire League as well, okay, for Device. They did not pick up Fire League, okay? And I was actually pretty shocked about that. But yeah, so pretty much is that Makalele was benched. You know, Makalele wasn't hard. You know, he's you know, hit hard of it. You know, he created a team, and you know. So basically, it's going to be more of a video afterwards, like a lot of video afterwards about, you know, Makalele and, you know, what's going on behind the scene of Godsend. Hopefully it's not too spiteful. Like, I know, like, some of these giveaway things will be, like, you know, parting shots towards the players in the team. But you haven't seen the video yet. And now the Copenhagen Flames have lost, you know, Tezes as well. Now they're down to Refresh, Queenie, Hooksy, and Nodios. And I'm going to say they're back to square one once again, Copenhagen Flames. And they seem to be the most unfortunate team in Vortex. Launch a shot at them as well, saying they're just basically the Danish Academy. And it's kind of hard to escape that tag when your best two players arguably have now gone to Heroic, now to Godsend. And, you know, good luck to Fire League. Fire League is definitely a high-quality AWPer, and he most definitely deserves that spot in Godsend. And, you know, best of luck to him. You know, he'll get to that tier 1 team eventually when he starts priming up. He'll get to that, you know, he'll get to probably Heroic or Australis, maybe even North. I'm kidding, of course, with the North comment. But he'll get up to, you know, one of those top teams in the Danish scene. Now, next up is going to be, well, the biggest U-turn I've seen since Australis now has picked up Snappy, is Tiger have reverted the change, and I think that's the most accurate picture of most apt facial expression by Smoothie, because Smoothie is like actively going, what's going on, man? Like, you know, he's got that facial expression like, what's going on? As you can see in OBS now, he's got that expression going, what is going on? He's got the hand out as well. He's like that Jaguar fan. You know, the Jaguar fans was like laughing. He's like, you know, he's just wondering, like, you know, how bad his team is going. That is literally Smoothie at the moment. So what happened is that Australis have acquired Snappy since Glaive is on leave, and Snappy's probably the only one out of contract at the moment since Heroic moved to, well, they obviously transferred him over to Tiger, and Tiger, well, have loaned him out. Probably a very, very complex process. And, well, Snappy is now at Astralis, and Tiger have decided to abandon, picking up Smooya and Snappy. And turns out Smooya isn't as wanted as it seems, which is kind of unfortunate for Smooya. I was just hoping for Smooya to really achieve something out of that scene, be able to be, shows a lot of professionalism, basically, and, come back in with a bang and be able to be more accepted in the NA and EU scene, and his past transgressions just be, left to the wayside and be like, okay, Smooya, you made a few mistakes, but now, you can come back with us as well. And that's a bit unlucky for Smooya. Basically, Urcast is a bit unhappy as well, obviously wanting to, make the team with Smooya and Snappy, but, sometimes things just fall apart, okay? And lastly, as I said before, Snappy, well, Astralis bring in Snappy, and Xyp9x takes leave as well. So Xyp9x taking leave from Astralis. And he, Snappy at 29, and Xyp9x wants to get some rest due to burnout and stress. And that's pretty much it. And I do kind of agree with Foreign and Richard Lewis on, but I think it was behind the numbers, that it just seems odd there's a lot of stress and burnout now compared to when they were traveling, in planes and stuff like that for tournaments and lands. And, I really do want to know. I don't want to go out, saying that it's lying, it's Nicola Nyholm and stuff like that. I just want to, find out, why is it the case? Why is it the case? Buster's done it as well. Is there something behind the scenes that's going on? Does anyone know anything behind the scenes going on? Or, maybe the online tourneys are taking a bit of stress where they're playing CSGO back to back to back to back, even though, it's in the comfort of their own homes. But they just feel like it's a chore, and, it's something like that, that kind of psychologist thing, basically they feel like they wake up, play CS, go to bed, stuff like that. And I do, kind of agree with them in a way that, hey, you're at home, you're probably doing nothing most of the day, you probably have, 1 or 2 CSGO games and prac, and that's it. But you're still at your own home, you're not traveling, between hotels to hotels. I know you're not traveling out of a suitcase. You're not, living out of a suitcase. We're not traveling with a suitcase. You're living out of a suitcase. And I can understand that, there's some people who enjoy traveling, and there's some people that dread it. And, that's one point as well that you can take a look at. It's like, maybe they really, really, want to travel, want to go to new places, meet their team again and stuff like that. And, go to hotel. And some people just don't like it. For me, I just don't really care. I think you guys know at this point, if it's a bed to sleep in, I'll probably be sleeping in it again. I'll probably be snoring loudly as well. And, yeah, I just really want to know if this is what it is. Basically, it is, basically contract negotiations go in the background, and they claim, burnout and stress to not play. It's kind of not good. I do kind of subscribe to the theory as well, given that Yugi was brought in, for, Yugi was brought in for, Glaive, and I'm just going, yeah, that's I don't feel that's the right move. But someone has also told me as well that he's just sort of basically standing in until S-Tag is released from his contract in June, of course. And, we'll see what occurs there. Because, I don't think Yugi's the player for Astralis to pick up. Yugi, he hasn't really proven himself recently. I know everyone's gonna be like, maybe Yugi as well, if he does watch this, which is very, very unlikely, he's gonna be being a bit harsh on him, but he hasn't really proven himself in the CSGO scene as of yet. He had, definite potential, but he's just being on the sliding end. And he's just, I'd probably take this as a shot for him to try and prove himself in Astralis, because he hasn't been performing pretty well prior to it. And, to be honest, with Astralis, if you need a quick replacement for someone with stress and burnout, Yugi's there. And you can see if you could build around him, if he's going to be worth it or not. And, yeah, so basically Snappy. So now the lineup will be basically Device, Dupree, Magis, Yugi, and Snappy, with Sonic as the coach still. They actually were thinking of having Sonic to stand in at some points for Astralis. And, well, getting a bit hard, and both, Glaive and Xyp9x are both on leave. Now, lastly, this is interesting. It's actually big of a boost for DGL. So DGL, he's left Japolino now. And this is actually questioning whether Japolino is going to stay together as a team, since DGL was a part of that. Maybe, Freddie B might return to that as well, because Freddie B, he's been on, don't know where he is. And similar with Draken, but I know Draken's moved to Valorant. It's been Freddie B has been the one to take a look at. So Freddie B might be going back to Japolino. And DGL's come to Contact, being a coach with Neil M. And Contact need a lot of help at the moment, because Contact have not been performing pretty well at all. with the players that they have. They need to perform a lot better. Like, we know the potential's there for Contact, but they're not playing quite well at all. And I'm just very, very unhappy with Contact. So as you see here, guys, basically DGL's coached Game and Legion and Red Reserve before and helped Japolino qualify for MDL Global Challenge. I wonder if he'll go back there to help him make Global Challenge. And yeah, that's pretty much it. The team's still the same. I won't be surprised if Emmy and Letney are moved on and they bring some extra players in there as well, because Esperanto, Otto, and Chips are a pretty good roster to build around as a core, because Esperanto, Otto, and Chips are very, very good, solid players, and Otto is such a very good AWPer as well, and a big Finnish talent missed by the Finnish teams. Now, next up, we're going to have, the other bigger news as well, with Kassad leaving 100 Thieves. We have I'm a Pet, Chet, joining the scene as well from NRG, or Evil Geniuses now. And basically after his fundamental disagreements with, as this says in the article, Stanislaw and Tarek, and how he's like, no secret that I do not like that Tarek and Stanislaw, we had bad relationships. And yeah, so pretty much, he's been happy with it. He's joined 100 Thieves. And yeah, basically they talk about Kassad turning at the 2018 with Grat and Liaz. And yeah, now the team's like this, so we'll see how Chet goes. He's changed his name from I'm a Pet to Chet. If you guys just don't know, he changed his Twitter name as well to Chet. And I would say Chet was definitely a welcome sign to coming into Australian Counter-Strike. And he actually almost went to Valorant as well. Like, he said he was going to go to Valorant because there was nothing for him here. And then pretty much, he said, I think I gave enough time. I didn't sign my life away to Valorant. I was able to find a squad that I have a lot of faith in. And basically 100 Thieves give a lifeline to Chet. And, Chet gets that wage, that income back. And he also gets a team that he can really gel with. And hopefully does not say to the Australian guys, anything else is bonus points, okay? Do not say that, okay? Do not say that, famous last line, okay, Chet? Do not say that, okay? Because I want the 100 Thieves getting to the grand finals, not getting eliminated in the first round 2-0, okay? I know it's the infamous final words, and I know you probably get joked about it a lot after what happened with NRG when you dominated 3-0 and then lose 0-3. But just don't say that. Don't say that. And lastly, guys, we're going to talk about the new tournaments coming in. So we got the Blast. Whoops, a daisy. Why am I on the comments for this page? We got the new Blast premiere. We got the on-air team revealed. I want to talk about the casters there as well. So you got Semlives, Descos. You got Foreign again on the Analyst and Maniac as well. And you got Anderson Moses, Scrawny Launders, and James Banks with the interview. And I think that's going to be a straight fire lineup. Especially James Banks. James Banks is actually really, really good at interviewing and being a host on his show. I actually watched Debrief while I was on the plane to, I think it was BlizzCon and DreamHack Winter, because I'm trying to think of it. I think it was Qatar that had it. So Qatar was DreamHack Winter. And dude, there were actually some really, really good things to watch on that. Like, dude, Debrief went through the round, like, for 15 minutes on, how important, like, these things were, the flashes and the smokes and the other placement and what kills had a lot of impact on it. And a lot of them were to do with Renegades being outplayed. And I'm sitting there going, like, why do you have to keep showing Australian teams being outplayed? And I think James Banks, fills that role really, really well. Similar for Descos, pretty much, stock standard superstar of the Descos position. You got Anderson Moses, basically a staple for every tournament. Like, these guys aren't gonna get not gonna get a tournament. Someone's actually saying that Anders was overrated. I'm like sitting there going, dude, like, Anders is a very, very, very good caster. Like, that's a bit of an oof. That's a bit of an oof. Anderson Moses is basically a staple of the scene. And then Scrawny and Launders get another opportunity, which is massive. Massive to go from DreamHack to Blast. And you got to give them credit there. They're really, really evolving as a duo. They're duo Canadians. Now, next up, we got we got this tournament, which is Games Without Borders. Just in case you guys are wondering, that tournament's been announced as well. We're now have the top teams competing this weekend. And that's going to be an absolute cracker to look at. And I've actually realized I've missed a few tournaments. I'm going to have to get those at the end, which is the Home Sweet Home and a few others as well. But, might run out of time. So yeah, we got this. We got Gamers Without Borders. So we got Anderson Moses on the cast again. And like, guys, these guys are staples. So we got the English lineup here, which is going to be basically Anderson Moses, Sponge, Henry G, and Frankie. And it's good to see Frankie getting some more work and definitely doing the interviewing. I'm going to say, I bet her and James Banks compete a lot for spots. But compete in like a good way, kind of like, because they're both, just as human as each other. And they're both, great in their own ways. Like, Frankie's more of a human person. And James Banks more the professional, get down the business, kind of more analysis person. And they both, of course, have their human sides. I think Frankie's a bit more fun. I know James Banks can be fun, but they have advantages in different areas. And that's what the good thing to have about your interviewers is, that they can actually connect with the players. And that's a big thing as well. You know, be able to connect with the players. Like, you know, for James Banks, you can really connect with him through struggles in life and stuff like that. And, you know, what he's been doing for the game, you can show he just loves it altogether. And same with Frankie as well, because she does stream CSGO as well. And she really hates the UMP. Like, yeah, that's all I know. That's all I know about Frankie at times, because she's on the same time as I am. And she just really doesn't like the UMP. So, you know, if you're playing with her, just drop her to UMP and just be like, okay, you know, that's your favorite weapon, right? But anyways, we got the Russian lineup as well. We got the French lineup. I was hoping to see Kipper here, but didn't see Kipper here at all. I was hoping to see him here. Fur, you know, he's here as well. Fur, if you remember him from MIBR, it's the same Fur. And the Brazilians as well, which is good to see. You know, good to see this lineup of casters, because I was hoping, you know, I know everyone loves Gorlez. Gorlez is definitely a big Brazilian caster. He does a lot for the scene, for a lot of scenes, actually, not just for the CSGO scene, but for the F1 racing scene. But I want to see some, you know, other Portuguese talent break through. And it's good to see that these boys are getting given a shot. And, you know, it's actually good to have all these different lineups here of players that can talk multiple different languages. So next up, we're going to talk about the MDL. So MDL, as you guys may know, is that I cast quite a bit. And actually, you know what I can see? I'm trying to see if there's any other tournaments that I can show. But no, there isn't at the moment. So I think I've got the Blast here as well. Let me just see what's going on. Yeah, I got the Blast, DreamHack, and the MDL. Okay, I'm going to get started with the MDL and then going to go to the tournaments later. So first off, we got the EU, and they're going to say a lot of cracking matches, actually, a lot of close matches as well. Like the first three ended up in 16-14, and, you know, definitely enjoyed this week. A lot of these I didn't cast, unfortunately. I think I casted the alternate attacks for Game of Legion, and that was, well, alternate attacks were just so much better than Game of Legion. Wasn't even funny. And, yeah, alternate attacks winning 16-7. So I casted Game of Legion being the Riders, and the Riders looked absolutely abysmal. Like Game of Legion, they let Game of Legion have overpass, and the Riders, they couldn't counter the default plant for B for Game of Legion. Like Game of Legion was relying so much on the default plant of B, and they kept abusing it over and over again. And then they try to do the same, like try to go through the B bomb site, and it's just Game of Legion's got so many good B defenders on overpass, and they just basically washed them aside. Now Harris is the Demolition Crew. That was an exceptionally close game, but I didn't cast that in the end. I think I only had one game in the end. Then we had Discard v Amiga, and that was one of the greatest games of Inferno I've seen play for a while. And you could tell the teams were really putting a lot into it. Like towards the end, they got a bit sloppy from both teams. Like a lot of teams making a lot of mistakes towards the end. You know, it was really back and forth. And in the end, just a little mistake from Scarday on holding the site. They lose two players as they couldn't contain. I think it was MDS popping into the scene and grabbing quick 2 kills to basically turn a 3v3 into a 3v1, and Jo basically just popped Spellin off. Spellin was just in between coffins and just couldn't do anything about it. And, you know, it's just really unfortunate for Skade, but, you know, sometimes you gotta, you know, it's what happens in the game of CSGO at times. It's just sometimes you win them, sometimes you lose them. It's just always the 1% that count. Now we're going to go over to the NA scene. So the NA scene, Chaos have played a lot of their games as well. Chaos taking down Recon 5, Infinity, Whalers, and Blood, Sweat, and Tears. And, well, Chaos are on an absolute rampage currently at the moment, trying to maintain that #1 spot in the NA MDL. Now, the other teams as well, you know, basically under 21, they lose a few games, Buff Duddy as well. And as you can see here, what we're talking about last week with the NA scene being filled with pug teams, this is what a lot of players are trying to point at, is that there's a lot of pug teams in the NA scene. As you can see that, you know, just keep the comms up, Blood, Sweat, and Tears, under 21, Buff Daddy's PayPal crew, Swedish Canadians, Alcoholic Anonymous, and Way to French have disbanded now. But as you can see here, there's a lot of pug teams without orgs. And this is what the players have been like, you know, being like, okay, guys, like, you know, there's something's wrong with this scene. Like, there's no orgs supporting the pug teams. Like, there shouldn't be this many pug teams in MDL. There should be an org, you know, approaching them at least. You know, maybe, you know, not tier 7 and stuff like that, but maybe an org in tier 2. You know, why haven't they been approached? You know, there's a lot of orgs out there that could go for CSGO teams. Just find out, you know, why they're not going for CSGO teams, and, you know, what's the reason behind it. You got CLG, you got Misfits, you got TSM, as I said before, you got a few teams like that, and just trying to find out all the reason why they're not going to the NA scene. And, you know, it could be professionalism, because people have been saying that, you know, I think it was Curry has said there's more benefits of going for, like, you know, pug building and hub grinding than it is to going to the MDL, so that orgs just essentially stay away, because they know that these teams are more puggy than than to actually make an actual team and try to sell their brand effectively. And you know, that's where it comes in. And you know, obviously, as you can see, there's a lot of pug teams. There's only a few teams that are willing to go into the league, like you know, Polar Ace, Recon 5, the New England Whalers, Chaos, Infinity as well. And you know, it's only really, and the Warriors as well. Actually, there's a you know very few teams in the NA MDL scene that's orged, and that's been leading to the charge of basically some of the teams going to some of the players going to Valorant. But we've had our first player come back to CSGO, which is Leaf. He's come back to Chaos as Voltage had to leave. And people think Leaf's going to go back to Valorant, but we'll see. We'll see. He might be the first converted back from Valorant. And, you know, that'll be some good news for the NA scene. Now, for the AU scene, it's been actually kind of crazy. You know, Forbidden taking down Incept. That was actually a crazy game. I casted that as well. And Rooster, you know, doing in Paradox 16-14. That was actually quite a good game as well. Rooster were up 11-4. And Paradox started the comeback trail. And Rooster had to fend off a fast finishing Paradox, and it was Sky5 v Avant, and I love everyone who was on my predictions being like, okay, you're giving Sky5 too many rounds against Avant. I'm going, they're gonna get at least over 7 rounds, and here we go, 16-9 on Nuke. And then we got Control v Ovid. I'm gonna say this is the most interesting game of the round. You know, Control had an amazing T side, get 6 rounds on the board on their T side, and that's, you know, just above par score for Train. And, you know, Overt was seemingly on the back foot, and then just Overt won the pistols, and then essentially just kept resetting Control over and over again, and Control just couldn't handle it. It was just always Overt on the offensive, and Overt won 16-6, and it was just, like, so crazy. It was just like, oh, like, can't even win a single CT side round. And I've seen Control play this map before, and that, you know, they have a good CT side. I was just, you know, really crap to see that, you know, that Control couldn't get a CT side against Overt. And it's got all credit to Overt, because T-side Train's a very hard map to win. Like, a very hard map to win. It's, you know, got to give credit to them for being able to do so. People went AUCS, blah, 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 but I think Overt played a lot better than Control, who basically played standard 3-2 setup on A and B to be able to get into the sites at least. Now, basically, we've got Truckers with Attitude still continuing their reign, and I think Brace has left the team as well. Brace has left Truckers, and the Truckers, I think they're looking for one more. I'm a bit surprised that the Truckers have not got a org yet, considering the 8-3. And given that sometimes the, you know, people may look at the Trucks as a bit immature, might be a reason why. But, you know, any AE org that's looking for a team at the moment that, you know, wants to put some investment in a team, I feel if you can get the Truckers to, you know, treat the game a lot seriously and stuff like that, and maybe, you know, get them a bit more professional, stuff like that, put some investment in it, I think you're going to have a really solid team there. You're going to have a really solid team there. Even though Brace has left, you know, basically they can pick up one more player, maybe pick up Doom and put an org into that, because Doom's definitely a hard-headed IGL. I'm not sure if he wants to IGL those players, though. I'm not terribly too sure. But, you know, you can put a team together with Doom and a few of the other 8 Australia players that, you know, are not playing at the moment. You could probably put a few of those guys in. But, you know, I'm just only throwing names like Doom out there because, you know, Doom's looking for a team as well. And Doom can obviously warp up as well, and probably Rifle as well. And also IGL if he wants to. But, you know, that probably might be a team that he wants to IGL as well. You know, you could want to IGL, but, you know, we'll see what happens if who they pick up as their 5th for the Truckers. They got Mako v Order. It kind of expected. Like, Mako, they got 7 rounds on the CT side, which is really good for Vertigo, but they're just completely destroyed on the T side by Order. Yeah, this is what Mako got to say now. This is what happens when you basically run into Order and Vertigo. It's their niche map pick for a reason, and unfortunately that's what occurs. Avant took down the 419, 16-9. I'm going to say the 419 did a really good job of getting 9 rounds on the board against Avant, okay? Because, you know, Avant, second team on the ladder. And Ground Zero, well, they sweated that one out. Ground Zero up 14-8. And Skyfire, you know, came back and it was 14-14, and Ground Zero eked a few rounds out to make it 16. And Incept took down Avant. Once again, this has happened again, that Avant have lost to Incept the 2nd season running. And, you know, it just seems like Incept just seemingly has Avant's number every time. Avant just keep losing to Incept. Order took care of Justice, completely expected. Rooster took care of Incept 16-5. And people are going like, how can Incept beat Avant and then lose to Rooster like this? And, you know, Rooster just basically disposed of Incept like it was nothing. Ground Zero took down Overt. Basically, Ground Zero looked a lot better. Overt just being effectively played around with on Inferno. And Overt, they made a mini comeback. But when you're 11-4 down in your first half, it's going to be very hard to come back from it. They made a little comeback. I think they won pistols in the following gun round. And then it was just all ground zero. And ground zero got a few plants, pairs got a few holds as well. And they got a few entries, and the Wiggle Wagon, i.e. Burn, got a few wiggles in, a few peaks, and got some stuff on the board. And then lastly, Bance took care of Forbidden, completely expected. And then we're going to have a few games on the weekend. If you're going to have the Chiefs v. the 419 and the Chiefs v. Bance as well. So next up, we're going to go back to the tournaments. We're going to go back to Blast, I believe. Yeah, this is Blast EU. And as you see here, we've got almost 10 teams. So we're going to have one more team before we go in. We're just waiting for the CIS Cup to finish. And, we've got Group A. I'm going to say now for Sword, they're probably going to go home. There's no way they're going to get through that group of death unless Ents do something really, really bad. It's just Astralis, Vitality, Ents, and Nip are just way better than Sword at the moment. Sword's an EU Advanced team, and they're coming against teams that want ESL Pro League. Even though they've moved their core around, Lecro being sat for Hampers and stuff like that. Yeah, they're going to get hurt a lot. Okay, let's just put it that way. They're going to get hurt a lot. And Sword will probably take this more in as a training experience. If they do win a series, they'll probably get 4th. And, well, they probably may mostly take this as a training drill, see how they can match up against these superstars of the Tier 1, basically Tier 1 scene of CSGO. If they win a few games, good on them. That's what what I'm cheering for. But realistically, on an analyst sense, they're going to be big whipping boys of this group. Now, with the Group B, Fnatic, Mouse, Dignitas, and Mad Lions, the winner of the CIS Cup, it'll be a bit scary for them as they get the CIS Cup up, because there's some really, really good teams in that CIS Cup, as you guys see here. So, you got Forza, you got Summon Gaming. I'm trying to find out, what's going on at the moment. I think it's Forza's in the grand finals. They're taking down iWin. And you got Virtus Pro as well. So, it's likely going to be probably Virtus Pro v Navi, Virtus Pro v Forza. And, that group can't really be underestimated if a Forza is in there or if a Virtus Pro is in there, because Mad Lions and Dignitas going to be very, very afraid of this. And Fnatic as well, actually, since Fnatic have been playing pretty poorly. And same with Mouse. That, this group is really up in the air. Like, realistically, these are all the teams. Like, there's the two teams that got to prove themselves, which is Dignitas and Mad Lions. And then there's Fnatic and Mouse Sports, who are just, slumping around. I think Mad Lions might even top the group, unless Mouse Sports and Fnatic are able to pull the finger out effectively and, put some rounds on the board. The CIS Cup team, I think they'll probably get second or third. Probably it's going to either be, I think it's going to be Virtus Pro in the end, since they do have Yakinda now. And Yakinda is a super aimer. Even though he's replacing Buster, he's still a very, very good aimer. He's probably slightly an upgrade for Buster. And I feel like, in the end, for Group A, I think Astralis will top the group. And for Group B, I think Mad Lions will top the group. Mad Lions being a lot more consistent. A-Core's been in a lot of good form, and they've been playing exceptionally well. Now, next up we got the NA. So next up we got that's the CIS Cup. Next up we got the NA Blast. So with this one, I feel like the Group A is probably a slightly weaker group than Group B, for example, which are Evil Genius, 100 Thieves, Cloud9, Triumph. I feel kind of bad for MIBR on this stage, because they'll probably be eliminated, because they've been playing very well. I think Chaos can beat them at this point, and I think MIBR will be eliminated. They're showing a lot of signs of form slumping. They're trying to find answers, and they're just not finding any at the moment, and their form just keeps going down as a result. Now, with Group B, I think Triumph will be unfortunately eliminated. This is, I feel that Triumph, they'll be able to match Cloud9, but Evil Genius is at 100 feeds. They're going to be absolutely blasted away by. If Triumph are able to win some, if they're able to win some rounds, even some maps, if they do take down Cloud9 in the end, they won't be eliminated, probably be in third spot. Now, with the topping the group, I reckon Fury will top the group for Group A, and I reckon Evil Geniuses may top the group for Group B. It's really between 100 Thieves and Evil Genius here for topping the group. So next but not least is going to be, well, the other part of it, which is going to be DreamHack Masters Spring NA. And, it's already been so far that Fury have topped the group for Group A, so they're already gone through. Chaos have been eliminated. And they did take down Team Liquid, funnily enough, Chaos, which is the most interesting matchup, is that they did take down Team Liquid. And it's just like, QA? Like, what went on that, Chaos were able to do that? But unfortunately for Chaos, their map difference is in absolute tatters after MIBR stomped them. And head-to-head doesn't apply, and Chaos is essentially eliminated. Now, on the other side, 100 Thieves have already got the upper bracket playoff spot. And if you guys want to know why, is because 100 Thieves have beat the two teams below them in a best of 3. Okay? So just in case you guys are wondering, as you can see here, 100 Thieves beat Gen G, beat Cloud9. So basically, it doesn't matter which team wins, because they're versing each other in the final round. They have the tiebreaker over them. So pretty much the Evil Geniuses game means nothing as well. So this is actually one of the rare circumstances where the final game of a group stage means nothing because the permutations have already been set. Like in a lot of other tournaments, like, it always goes to the last day, but with this one, it's a unique fixture where basically the teams beat on EG and 100 Thieves win the games against the teams that beat on EG. And it's one of the unique circumstances where this occurs. Like, it's a rare occurrence, this one. And I think lastly, we got the EU DreamHack Spring, which is huge because EU. And we got, G2 going through, Astralis and Heroic being second. G2 winning on the tiebreak, I believe, against Astralis as they beat them. Yep, that's correct. On the final day. And North being eliminated, probably deservedly being eliminated as Heroic took him down. It was actually a final day match. Same with G2 and Astralis as well. Now, Big topped the group, which is massive for Big. And Mouse were eliminated. This is really, really bad for Mouse, given that they are taking on Mad Lions later in the Blast. And this is not a good sign, given that they're in the same group as well. Now, we've got FaZe and Team Spirit. They've already progressed. FaZe probably had an easy group, given that, Godsent, Fnatic, and Team Spirit are probably a bit tier below them. I think they have defeated Spirit, have they? Yeah, they did. They defeated them 2-1. And it's a bit scary, though, when you let Spirit get a map as well. And Spirit's going to be one of the teams that are definitely the most improved team in the EU scene at the moment, as they are be able to match these tier 1 teams. Even though FaZe did win the group, they are able to go strength for strength or toe-to-toe with these big teams. Now, on the other end, at the moment, Group D is not really finalized yet. Ed's defeated, I think it was Na'Vi, and Na'Vi defeated Nip, I think it was. I'm trying to think who they defeated. Na'Vi defeated Vitality, that's right. And it was Vitality defeated Nip. So, we're going to the next matches, which is going to be, Vitality, Eds, Na'Vi, Nip, and as soon as we see these matches being played, basically have a, greater of ideas going to go through the playoffs and stuff like that. So now we're going to the playoffs. Basically, the teams have already booked their spots, as you can see here. It's going to be Big v FaZe Clan. Probably going to be a pretty good game out of those BF3s, and it's going to be G2 v whoever will get there in the end in Group D. And, let me go to a few more tournaments because Home Sweet Home wasn't there. And I'll go look at that Home Sweet Home before we, just call it a day for the, there we go. Call it a day for the event. So we're going to go to Week 4 because Week 4 we didn't finish it last time. And with Week 4, basically in the end, I believe Complexity won it again. And I think it was Week 5 actually. That was finished. Yeah, it was finished Week 5. But this time Complexity didn't win it because Complexity didn't enter because Complexity already won twice already. Heroic won it. Heroic get the first win of the new squad. And I'm going to feel sorry for Team Secret because Team Secret, I felt they were going to be the ones that was going to be in the scene, but they were taking that early on. Like, I thought Team Secret was going to make the finals again. Team Spirit got close, but got it 2-0 by Heroic, and Heroic just literally stomped every team in front of them, especially in the grand final as well. Heroic basically 16-2, like after a close match 16-13 on Nuke, they win 16-2 Inferno, and Heroic are a pretty scary Inferno team, so I'm actually surprised they got Nuke and Inferno. And, it's basically a good start for Heroic. Finally, Heroic gets some points on the board, and last but not least, we're going to go to Week 6. And it's been, interesting close, been interesting invites, Ambush being invited, AGF being invited. It's actually very interesting. And Apex being invited as well, which is interesting. Like, maybe the bigger teams are going to other tournaments now, which is arguable given that, Spirit and a few other teams are moving elsewhere. And, you're getting a lot of teams that, may have not heard of. You got the Neo, Taz, and Stomp team as well from Honorous. And you're seeing a lot of the teams that you don't hear of being able to match toe for toe. As you see here, Heroic is still here. They got 2-0 again. The game at Youngsters, Harvu being eliminated, which is a big elimination. Play what? I'm talking about CSGO. Cosmic Duke. I'm not playing CSGO. I'm talking about CSGO. I'm a caster. And it also has Forze as well. Forze, quick 2-0. And Endpoint as well. I'm actually a bit surprised with Endpoint. Sometimes Endpoint really choke out on these tournaments because Endpoint have a really, really tradition of choking. Now we've got Hard Legion beating Nordavin. Hard Legion, I've got to say, they've been one of these teams that have been sneaking around in the EU scene. They're not in the MDL at all, but they've always been sneaking around in this scene, Hard Legion. I'm actually just waiting for them to come to the Mountain Dew League as well to show some of these teams in the EU, like basically who's boss essentially, because they've been playing really, really well here, especially taking down Nordavin. Now, I expect Team Secret to defeat AGF, and I'm just really surprised about Team Secret unable to get into the grand final last series for Home Sweet Home. And yeah, that's going to be pretty much it for the CSGO section for today. A lot of tournaments running. A lot of tournaments going to be running this weekend. And I'm not sure if we can get time to watch them all, unfortunately, because one of them occurs at midnight. Like, one of them starts at midnight, and the next game's at 3 a.m., so that's not going to happen for me. That's the Gaming Without Borders, which, you know, kind of sucks. And I didn't apply to become that the on-screen team. Like, I did apply for Blast and a few others, and I got told I don't need any more extra casters. I didn't really apply for the Gaming Without Borders event, because the event was on the 30th and 31st, and I'm sitting there going, like, I'm very sure they're going to have casters lined up already, because it's not, you know, you don't announce an event like 3 to 4 days before the thing happens and not have casters all ready to go, you know, that kind of thing. So I already knew casters were there, you know, casters wasn't going to be like that bang already there, like, you know, it wasn't going to be, you know, happening. You're not going to get onto that sort of role.